What do you think this showed about leadership and the way you view leadership, and has it changed before and after that?
What it showed me really about leadership is first of all, you gotta really believe in your own values. And most people don't know what their values are. They're not super clear on them, or they're just catchphrases. They don't mean anything. So this decision, when I made it, was very easy because it was just one of the values I live by. I'm not out there to harm people. I'm doing what's best for my heart, from a place of love. So I knew there was nothing bad that could come to me from that. There was nothing they could do to me that was going to harm me because of the place that I was coming from. And then as far as leadership, there's different levels, right? And I realized, the thought pops in my head once in a while, right? Like everybody will have self-doubt at sometimes. And once in a while it pops in my head, I'm like, you know what? I'm one of the only people in the world that did that. Right. So I look at that and I said, you get these guys that are famous, you get all these guys that they didn't do that. Right. So they didn't have the leadership. They didn't step in and do the thing that was the hardest thing to do at that time. And I think that's what it showed me is no matter, you're going to have, as a leader, that's what it means. You're going to be alone a lot of the time. You're going to be out on an island, but you got to make the decision, and you might be wrong. And that's okay. But as long as you're following your path and your belief system, but real leadership can be scary. It can be scary. And that's why there's not a lot of what I think are true leaders out there. Right. But I also believe that leadership is a progression. And it comes down, we're talking about philosophy, right? And the self-awareness. And we all have to lead ourselves first. And I look at all the years of the discipline I had with everything I've done with bodybuilding and just anything where I put my mind to it. That all led me to that moment. All the stuff, all the times, like when we work out, how hard we push ourselves. That all made that decision a little bit easier, right? Just putting yourself through that and knowing that you're going to be okay. But yeah, I mean, it showed me a few things, man. It showed me that there was a huge lack of leadership from people that should be leaders, like politicians and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, two follow-ups is that, number one, you had said earlier, he's not just some meathead. And it reminded me of, thinking about going back and watching some stuff with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I got thinking, it's like a lot of bodybuilding in general, you need to have discipline to look that good. It's not like the average person be like, oh, well, they just took steroids. It's like, no, you have to literally every day, you have to eat right. You have to work out insanely hard and often, and you have to sleep. You have to do all of these things. You have to be disciplined to do that. So therefore, if you do that for your body, it is likely that you have a very strong mindset. Oh, yeah. So it's not surprising to me to see guys like you, guys who are very, very big and strong and who have a bodybuilding background, to be kind of philosophical and to be very intelligent. I think that there are some meatheads and rockheads out there, but sure, it's a balance. But I think that's something that I just thought of because, it's just, I think it's an insecure thing that people who, maybe aren't in the position they want to be in terms of how they look, they just kind of just throw that there. It's like, nah, man, like you got to lead yourself. So and again, it's not that you're special because you're big or something, but it's like, no, that kind of daily progression. And that's the second thing. It's like, I know you have a routine where you kind of, you wake up every day and you're like, okay, what am I doing today? Where am I going in life? What are my goals for today? And it's like when you do that on a personal level, that gives you the repetitions to do it, to lead a team like you're doing right now, right? Yeah. Is that what your point is?
1,000%. You can't. People know when you fake stuff. People know when. So and it actually starts the night before, right? I plan out my day the night before. Right. I know what the morning routine is. I know all this stuff, and again, if you can't lead yourself, how are you going to lead anybody else? You can't.
Yeah.
And they won't believe you're authentic.
Right. Yeah. Eventually the facade will crack,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm almost there. I'm almost to the point where I got my routine down, but not quite. It's like, I want to have my day. I can't do the daily stuff until I have the weekly stuff. So I might have to work backwards and just have, like, I have weekly goals and then I try to break it from that, but I might actually go a little larger and go like monthly goals. What am I going to accomplish this month?
Yeah.
And then work backwards that way. So yeah, I got 30 days to do this,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you think of, you know, think big, but then you got to act small. That's what I always tell people.
Right.
Think big, but act small. Don't think of massive action because that's going to burn out your willpower. It's going to kill your desire. Think small. What can you do right now to move you towards that?